When it was reported that Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss would be returning to the Matrix universe, many fans and even cast members from the old trilogy wondered how that was going to be possible given that Trinity and Neo died in Matrix Revolutions. The movie script from the third installment made it clear that both characters did indeed die. So then how will our heroes return from the dead? Neo's resurrection is justified because his body was taken away by the machines. But what about Trinity's? Today we're going to take a look at 5 theories of Trinity's return. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Number 5. Trinity is a clone. When you go to the supermarket and pass by the produce area filled with fruits, vegetables, etc., they are all clones of each other. This is a process known as plant breeding. It is the process by which the farmers try to maintain the same quality in all of their products. The architect created the matrix, and in each cycle, repeated attempts are made to perfect the simulation. So it does not make sense for there to be spontaneous diversity among humans. Let me explain. The differences between people, their diversity occurs when the DNA of the mother and father is copied into the egg. This union will never be perfect. This copy of the imperfections of the father and mother becomes the child. Other external factors can also affect the child, such as nutrition and even radiation from the sun. They can cause mutations or variations. These variables make it unpredictable to know what the next generation will be like. If the architect wants to create a perfect simulation, he cannot leave human development to chance. These variables cannot exist at the time of reproduction. The most logical course of action is that each human is a clone, and that each clone fulfills the same role in the simulation. This way, the equation can be repeated and refined. If this is the case, even if the Neo that we see in Matrix 4 is the same one from the previous trilogy, the Trinity could be a new clone for the 7th simulation. This would also imply that other clones of Trinity, Neo, Morpheus, and the rest of the Red Pills have existed. Number 4. The residual self-image. Neo learned a valuable lesson during the jumping test.
I thought it wasn't real.
Your mind makes it real.
If you're killed in the Matrix, you die here?
The body cannot live without the mind.
However, that rule will later be disproven by Kid, whose residual self-image died, but his body continued living in Zion. Neo's body did suffer damage from failing the jumping test and when fighting Smith. He died when the agent shot him. The same would later happen to Trinity after she got shot as well. Indeed, there is proof that the body can survive even if the RSI is fatally wounded in the Matrix. But what if it could work in reverse? What if a person whose body is destroyed in the real world can save their consciousness in a residual self-image? Maybe the machines have backups of the consciousness of each human connected to the Matrix, and Trinity is just that, the consciousness trapped in an RSI, a program that looks like her that only exists in the simulation. Number 3. A hologram. This idea is similar to the one we just discussed, but a hologram is different from a residual self-image. The Zion Resistance uses multiple custom-made simulations to train the recruits. One of these programs that we have mentioned in our video of how Neo returns in Matrix 4 is a combat program that utilizes holographic representations of the Matrix agents and Zion's allies. In this simulation, there were holograms of Neo, Seraph, Agent Smith, and Trinity. So is this how Trinity could come back? Perhaps Neo was reconnected to the simulation, and the Red Pills use a hologram with the physical characteristics of Trinity to help Neo remember who he is. Number 2. Trinity still lives. This unlikely idea proposes that Trinity somehow survived the Lagos crash in Matrix Revolutions, that she miraculously survived being impaled by rebar or metal tubes. She lost consciousness and was later found by her fellow Red Pills. We don't know the level of medical technology that the Red Pills have, although we do know that it is quite advanced, since they are capable of regenerating the muscle structure of the newly freed Blue Pills. Maybe Trinity's body is in a comatose state, and the only way to keep her alive, so to speak, is to have her permanently connected to the construct, and from there, she can enter the Matrix and save Neo. Number 1. Resurrected by the machines. This is one of the most probable theories in which Trinity, like Neo, after her death was recovered by the machines and was put into a coma, only to be awakened when necessary. This way no Red Pill could find either of them because they are not connected to the Matrix.
Why won't they give up his remains? They say they haven't recycled them. They belong in Zion, in a holy place. He saved us. He saved them. He saved the Matrix.
Though the time would come when they are to be reactivated, rather because the Matrix needs them, or because a program like the Oracle needs them. Remember that Trinity is one of the Oracle's most important pawns, because without her, Neo would have never been able to break the Matrix cycle.
The Oracle told me that I would fall in love and that that man, the man that I loved, would be the one.
The answers to the Oracle's plan may still lie with Neo and Trinity. But do you agree? How will Trinity return in Matrix 4? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.